Let me ask you a question. Are the soup kitchens and the public assistance and the public housing a good thing?
I'm sorry to go back to the left, but it boggles my mind. I'm going to answer that question. But they even have child sacrifice as one of their main religious staples. Fundamental to the left is abortion rights. It's weird, man. This is child sacrifice, the worst kind, to the altar of the self.
But can you admit that you're in the minority in that opinion?
I think people are confused. Like, my mom is so big on, like, women's rights, and I'm like, Ma, you planning on having many abortions? Like, you're like 70 years old. Like,
but that's very selfless because she's not. She's 70 years old, so that's very selfless on her part.
To me, like, in what context, we can get into this a little bit if you want, besides rape, incest, and the mother's life being in jeopardy, is it not a selfish act to have an abortion? Why can't you give that baby up for adoption? Why can't you... I'm sure there's a ton of different assistance if you want to have the baby. Why do you have to kill it? That's my question.
Well, when is a life a life? Is it a life at conception? Is it like when when you're by yourself and you pleasure yourself? Is that a life that you're wasting? Where do you draw the line?
There is no line.
When are you going too far?
If your health is not at risk, and you haven't been raped, and it's not a baby from incest. There's no line.
So wait, so rape is the line? Or incest is the line? What's the line? That's what I'm saying to you.
Risk to the mother. The risk to the mother's life. Okay. She's going to die. If she has a risk of dying if she gives birth to this baby. Rape. Incest. Those are the lines.
So you want to tell people what to do with their bodies?
The left that just told me I had to get a vaccine or I was killing grandmas? Do I want to tell them not to murder babies? Yeah.
You see, sure. This is the biggest contradiction and conundrum that goes along with being so far in one direction. And
I'm not telling them what to do with their bodies. I'm telling them what not to do with their bodies. So they can. I'm not telling them not to have sex. They can do whatever they want, but face the consequences. Don't be selfish. That's what I'm saying. For selfish reasons. If you actually need an abortion because your life is at risk, okay. Fine, but just to kill it because you don't want it, that's unacceptable to me, and ungrateful and selfish and all the things that I think are wrong with the left. And they embrace this as like this holy, like we need to be able to keep murdering babies. Like if you added up all the aborted babies, like more than the Holocaust. You know that, right?
This is what my feelings are on this whole topic, right? So if you're a murderer, right? Mm-hmm. Social justice is eventually going to get you. The laws don't have to be in place for something bad to happen to you if you're a murderer. If you're a child murderer or aborter or whatever you want to call it, then eventually, if you're doing it out in the open, eventually social justice is going to get you. But as far as whether or not abortion should be legal or illegal, and whether or not it's on the far left or on the far right, or what each person thinks, I think both sides are going too far. I think that there has to be a clear definition of when it becomes a life, and there has to be a clear definition of the lines on when it's okay, or were you raped? Does it affect the mother? I feel like there needs to be clear lines describing it if it's going to be law. Do I think it should be law? Hell no, it shouldn't be law. Why does it matter to you whether or not I kill my baby? And if it was such a terrible thing to do to kill a baby, right, then wouldn't social justice get me? Wouldn't all my friends turn their back on me? Wouldn't banks stop lending me money if they knew that?
Because they've changed the narrative to it's women's rights. It's not, they've changed the perception so well of what you're doing. You are killing a baby, but to them, it's just a medical procedure. Like that's why they call it a fetus, not a baby, because they've removed the emotional connection, but I'm not going to lie to myself about what's going on. Like, that's what's actually, in reality, taking place. So, by your standards, like, should a doctor be able to kill you?
Will social justice get them? Probably.
Like in Canada now, they have medical assistance in dying. You can go to the doctor like a Kevorkian and have like a medical death.
Well, do I think he was wrong for helping people commit suicide? No, I don't think he was wrong.
but is it good for society?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't think that's up for you to judge, and I don't think it's up for me to judge
It's up
either.
for us all to judge. It's